If you're looking for an app as a black person and you want to connect with other black people, you want to promote, you want to look for employment, you just want to socialize amongst black people, well, the Black Social app is here. It's an absolutely a great app on Android and Apple, and make sure y'all go and check it out, man. What is going on, everybody? Jaye the Black here. I am back with another video. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Make sure you like this video. Hopefully you share it because I'm going to be talking about Captain Marvel. I want to get back to speaking on some of these topics that, that I really find intriguing, like the push of social justice onto comic book films and films in general. But it's being heavily pushed through the Kevin Feige led Marvel films. Now, I'm a big fan of comic book movies. I grew up watching comic book TV shows when I was a kid. Growing up, I was more of a DC fan. I still am. But when it comes to films, live action films, I think Marvel has done a really good job with the production, the actors that they put in those roles, the directors. They've done a really good job, and I think that with all that success they had, at some point there was going to be a decline. There was going to be an added mixture of social justice BS that they were going to have to add eventually. And that's what seems like is going on with Captain Marvel. Now, for those of you who don't know, if I could find an article, I'll probably try to link it. Apparently Rotten Tomatoes turned off the ratings leading up to the movie, so people wouldn't, their votes you wouldn't see it. And this is unprecedented because they've never done this. But Disney has such pull that you knew this was eventually going to happen because of the negative press that Brie Larson has been bringing to Captain Marvel. Now, I don't care about her political leanings, but what I want to really emphasize is that with this whole situation and the truth about it, it just seems to me that Marvel wants to push this narrative and they're willing to have Brie Larson go out there and make a fool of herself by doing so. Okay? Now, I have said before that there's a bit of a civil war in the white community. No pun intended to Captain America Civil War. But you have white women like Brie Larson who I'm pretty sure dates white men, but she wants to chip away, like her and other, feminist-minded women. They want to chip away at the power of white males. This is why you have the Me Too movement going at white men, but we see the Me Too movement is doing more damage to black men. But anyway, so you have Brie Larson with this mindset. The trailers have been underwhelming. I haven't seen it yet as of Friday. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson seems to me from the trailers to be the only intriguing part of this film because he's a very consistent actor. He's one of my favorite actors. Very consistent, very reliable. It was a good choice putting him in the film to balance the boring looking Brie Larson because she looks like she's bored in it for the check. She's getting about $5 million to do this role. She looks like she's there to collect the check, and that's about it. That's all it is. Now, I did a video where I talked about, Brie Larson saying that, she did not want, white dudes interviewing her. She wanted diversity, but diversity is never black. Have y'all noticed that? It's always everything but black. But anyway, I truly believe that the media is pushing this narrative that the negative viewpoints of Captain Marvel has everything to do with it, people not liking Brie Larson because she's in a female-led film. That has nothing to do with it. Wonder Woman didn't get negative press. You didn't see Gal Gadot out there, talking about how she didn't want men interviewing her and how, white dudes watching A Wrinkle in Time. Like, you didn't really hear that from her, because that's not her mindset. She actually seems like a genuine woman. And in Hollywood, I don't know how long that's going to last. They tried to push the feminist narrative onto Wonder Woman and it didn't happen. The movie still did well. I saw the movie. The movie was really good. All right. Had a female director. She didn't take the feminist bait, but you have this co-directing female who's taking the bait. They want to prove a point, and they're going to use the platform that Marvel has built with all of those actors and actresses from the other films. Even though a lot of those films were male led, those guys paved the way for a Brie Larson to be able to have her own film. They want to basically shovel dirt on that legacy and say, well, it's time for Brie Larson to come in, Captain Marvel, and basically be the face of Marvel, which I think Kevin Feige should never let happen. I don't know if Kevin Feige was preoccupied with the Oscars, but the way that the promotion of this film has been going has been a nightmare. Rotten Tomatoes doing what they are doing just shows you the bias that exists in entertainment towards female-led films. There's been a lot of female-led films flopping, not doing so well. The new Ocean's 11 reboot did horribly. The Ghostbusters reboot did horribly. A lot of female-led films fail, and I think the media sees that and they don't want Captain Marvel to fail. So they're going to do everything they can to hide the weaknesses in the promotion of this film. Hide the fact that Brie Larson is a feminist-minded woman. She's one of these left-leaning white liberal females who wants to talk about diversity and being inclusive, but probably doesn't have any non-white friends. A lot of these people like her, like Chris Evans, some of these people who are outspoken, they are very much so hypocrites. But they think because of what they're putting out there, nobody's going to do any due diligence. Nobody's going to do any homework. Nobody's going to look at the fact that you're talking down to white males, but that's who you date. And the media, once again, are trying to cover up the mess that she made by hiding the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Didn't make much of a difference because once people are able to put out reviews of the film, what was hiding the ratings gonna do? People can see the ratings now. The audience, I think they have the critics and the audience, because I haven't visited Rotten Tomatoes very much because Rotten Tomatoes to me has an agenda. There are certain films they want to do well on their site, and there's other films they really have no respect for, and it just seems like the media and Rotten Tomatoes, Disney, they're all coming together collaboratively. You got some of these, bootlicking critics out there that they're going to say whatever to get this film over, but the opposite has happened. And now you see that Brie Larson's mouth has wrote a check that I ass can't cash. Okay? And if you look at how this film is doing with the public, now the movie may still do numbers this weekend. We will see Monday, all right? But I really do believe that the media has got to stop pushing this, females can do anything a man can do, because we all know that's BS. Women can do a lot of things that men can do, but there's some things they just can't. They just can't. And they shouldn't want to do that because you're a woman, And they're pushing this feminist agenda narrative that is not going to sit well with the majority male audience. Marvel needs to understand their audience. It's majority men. Not say there aren't women buying tickets, because of course there are. But the majority of the audience are men. The majority of the people making videos are men. Leaving reviews are men because they are fans. They grew up reading the comic books. They know all of the characters, their backstories. You can't try to then act like they're dumb and they're not going to see what you're doing. Now I want you to understand, I am a black comic book movie fan. I haven't read a ton of comics, but I did grow up watching the television shows in the 90s and early 2000s, and I think I'm very familiar with the characters and their placements in these particular universes, whether it be DC or whether it be Marvel. You know, I just don't like how these social justice lames want to control every aspect of what people view. They want to control how people think. They want to control how people live their life because they're miserable. People like Brie Larson are miserable, and they will use an opportunity like the one that she has in order to make other people miserable as well. And I truly believe that Marvel's success is now their undoing now, because Brie Larson is, putting out her true feelings about everything using the Marvel platform, which in turn is going to ruin it. It's going to tarnish it, because she has such a deep hole in her soul. She has to go into this situation and act completely ungrateful and just feel like the film and everything's about her. And I truly believe that Kevin Feige is one of the main people to blame for this, because he's giving her all this leeway. All those people who are behind the promotion, I know they have a huge promotion team, and they're allowing her to say the things she's saying that is ruining the film for a lot of people. Again, I don't care about her political leanings, but you have Kevin Feige, who seems a bit, weak when it comes to holding these actors accountable when they're out there ruining your money. Okay, now I've heard a few reviews of the film, and people they didn't like it. I was going back and forth as to whether I was going to go watch it or not. I still may go because it's a Marvel film, just to go out and watch something. It's fresh, it's new. Like I said, I'm a fan of Samuel L. Jackson. This will be a little bit of a Nick Fury background. I would like to see the villain, in this film. Marvel doesn't have the strongest villains. I will say that. DC has that over them. They have the best villains out of both. But I like to go and watch films and have an escape and not have to feel like politics are on the screen every single time. If you're looking for an app as a black person and you want to connect with other black people, you want to promote, you want to look for employment, you just want to socialize amongst black people, well, the Black Social app is here. It's an absolutely a great app on Android and Apple, and make sure y'all go and check it out, man.